The night was cold, the sea was calm. The Titanic, a majestic ship, sailed confidently across the Atlantic. It was April 14th, 1912. Passengers aboard dreamed of new beginnings. They placed their trust in this marvel of engineering. Then it happened, a brush with destiny, a collision with an iceberg. The seemingly invincible Titanic was mortally wounded. The ship began to sink. Fear spread among the passengers and crew. Hope rested on one thing: sending out distress signals. The SOS signal, a relatively new invention at the time, crackled through the airwaves. These desperate pleas for help were sent out into the night. Would anyone hear them? Would anyone respond? The answers to these questions would determine the fate of the Titanic and those on board. The world watched and waited as a tragedy unfolded on the open sea. Imagine yourself lost at sea. Darkness surrounds you. The waves crash against your fragile vessel. Hope seems lost. Then you see it, a lighthouse beacon cutting through the gloom. The SOS signal was that beacon in 1912. The series of 3 dots, 3 dashes and 3 dots, dot, 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 dash, 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 dot, 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 represented a universal cry for help. It was a technological lifeline. Adopted in 1908, it was designed to be easily recognized by radio operators. Its simplicity could cut through interference. The SOS signal wasn't just a call for assistance, it was a promise that someone, somewhere, would hear the call and respond. It was a beacon of hope in the face of disaster. On that fateful night, the Titanic's SOS signals pulsed into the ether, carrying the hopes and fears of over 2,200 souls.
As the Titanic's SOS signals radiated outwards, one ship, the SS Californian, was close enough to respond. The Californian had even warned the Titanic of ice in the area earlier that night. But fate, it seemed, had a cruel twist in store.
The Californian's radio operator had gone off duty just before the Titanic struck the iceberg. Though the crew saw the Titanic's distress rockets, they failed to recognize their urgency.
The Californian remained stationary, oblivious to the unfolding tragedy just miles away. This lack of response from the Californian remains one of the most debated aspects of the Titanic disaster. Could they have reached the Titanic in time? Could they have saved more lives? The questions linger, a haunting reminder of a missed opportunity.
While the Californian remained silent, another ship heeded the Titanic's distress call. The RMS Carpathia, over 58 miles away, received the faint SOS signals. Without hesitation, I ordered my ship to race towards the Titanic's reported location. Our crew prepared for a challenging rescue. We knew the icy waters and limited lifeboat capacity presented a daunting task. Yet, we steamed ahead, driven by a sense of duty and compassion.
After a harrowing journey through the darkness, the Carpathia arrived at the site where the Titanic had sunk. The time was 4:10 a.m., April 15th. All that remained were lifeboats, scattered debris, and the chilling silence of the sea. The Carpathia's crew worked tirelessly, pulling survivors from the lifeboats and offering them warmth, food, and comfort. Why did the rescue take so long? Why didn't more ships respond to the Titanic's SOS signals? The answers are complex, a mix of technological limitations, human error, and unfortunate circumstances. In 1912, radio communication at sea was still in its early stages. Signals were often weak and unreliable. Interference from other ships and atmospheric conditions could disrupt communication. The Titanic's distress calls, though heard by several ships, were not always clear or complete. Some operators, like those on the Californian, dismissed the signals as routine traffic or simple greetings. Others, further away, struggled to determine the Titanic's exact location. The lack of a standardized distress call system also contributed to the confusion. The sinking of the Titanic was a tragedy on an unimaginable scale. The loss of over 1,500 lives sent shockwaves around the world. It also highlighted the critical need for improved safety measures at sea. In the wake of the disaster, maritime regulations were strengthened. The International Convention for the Safety of Life at Sea, or SOLAS, was established, mandating that ships maintain 24-hour radio watch, carry enough lifeboats for all passengers and crew, and conduct regular lifeboat drills. The tragedy of the Titanic, while heartbreaking, led to vital changes that made sea travel safer for generations to come. The legacy of the Titanic lives on, not just in the stories of those who were lost, but also in the lessons learned and the advancements made to prevent such a disaster from ever happening again.